begins with a woman named Anna. Anna and her 4 young daughters were on a steamship bound for France. The steamship was named the SS Ville de Havre. Well, the girls were having a big time on the ship. They were running around through the companionways, up and down the stairs, leaning over the stanchions. Well, a few days into their journey, the Havre was hit by a Scottish clipper vessel that collided with the iron hull. The collision was so hard that passengers were thrown from their beds and onto the floor. What do you do when your ship is sinking in the middle of the Atlantic? Anna and her girls went to the foredeck, somewhere near the bow, and they knelt down and they prayed that God would deliver them. And if He wouldn't deliver them, they all prayed that God would give them the strength to endure whatever came next. And as they were praying, 12 minutes later, the ship began to go downward. Anna held her girls' hands and they continued to pray. 226 passengers were killed, including all 4 of Anna's daughters, but Anna herself was spared. The next morning, when a sailor was in a little dinghy rowing at sunrise, he saw a woman clinging to a piece of wreckage. She was holding that wreckage and floating. She was catatonic and barely alive, cold with hypothermia. He brought her to shore. She was in Wales, where she found a telegraph station to send a telegram to her husband, Horatio, who was in Chicago. Horatio got the telegraph and it said, "Saved alone. What shall I do?" Horatio booked a ticket. 9 days later, he was on a vessel going across the Atlantic to reunite with his wife. And as he was on his way, midway through the journey, as he was lying in his berth, there was a knock at the door. It was one of the ship's mates. The ship's mate said, "Look, we are passing the place where the huge wreck happened, where your daughters were drowned." Horatio flew out of his bed. He raced up the steps, through the companionways, and leaned over the stanchions. He wrote lines of a poem, and those lyrics would be set to music many years later and become one of the most cherished American hymns. The poem read, "When peace like a river attends my way, when sorrow like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, you have made me to say, it is well with my soul."